Have you or someone you know ever stumbled upon an old treasure map and thought about chasing it? This story is about someone who did. A young man who followed his father and uncle into the hunt for a hidden fortune. Welcome back to another horror memory. My name is Zahed. When I was a child, I used to notice something strange. Every night, my father would leave the house, and when he returned, his clothes were covered in dirt and mud. I asked him questions, but neither he nor my mother gave me a clear answer. When I turned 17, I finally learned the truth. My father was hunting for treasure, and so had my grandfather. I begged him to take me with him. He refused at first, saying it was dangerous. But eventually, he gave in. One night, around 7:30, we grabbed shovels, picks, and other tools from the basement. We went to a place only he knew. It was far, a place I had never seen before. When we arrived, he pointed to a dead tree. "It's under there," he said. We dug for hours until we were exhausted, but nothing was there. I was crushed, but my father, calm as ever, simply said, "Pack up, let's go." That was my first time, my first night of digging. Unlike my father and grandfather, my uncle had no interest in treasure. He minded his own business. For 2 years, my father and I kept digging in different places. Every time, we came back empty-handed. But my father always said, "Don't lose hope. One day it will happen. One day, our lives will change forever." After those 2 years, my grandfather passed away. While going through his belongings, we found something, a treasure map drawn on animal skin. My uncle, being one of the heirs, learned about the map. So we agreed that he would join us. But the map was old, complicated. We couldn't read it ourselves. My father said, "We need help." Weeks later, with the guidance of a friend, we went to see a man, a prayer writer, Aman, who claimed to command jinn. He examined the map. Then he said, "With the help of my spirits, I can locate the treasure. But half of it belongs to me. If we find nothing, you owe me nothing." My father and uncle agreed. He took the map, walked to the well in his yard, and stood there silently for an hour. Then he raised his head, pointed, and spoke a name. It was the name of a village. "The treasure lies there," he said. 2 days later, we set off. My father, my uncle, the prayer writer, and me. We timed it so we would arrive at night. When we reached the place, the man pointed again. We were standing before the village graveyard. My father asked, "You mean it's inside the cemetery?" He nodded. "Yes, but I must find the exact spot." He ordered us to wait. Then he walked into the darkness, his shadow slipping between the graves until we lost sight of him. As he vanished, I noticed something. A boy. He was staring at us from the distance. I almost told my father, but then I thought maybe he would think I was afraid, and then maybe he would never take me along again. So I kept quiet. Minutes later, we heard footsteps. Our hearts froze, but it was the prayer writer returning. He said, "Bring the tools. Follow me." We obeyed. After wandering through the graves, he stopped at a patch of untouched ground. "There," he said to me, "start digging." I struck the ground with the pickaxe. Instantly, snakes crawled out of the earth. Small ones, large ones. I dropped the tool and ran. My father and uncle ran too. The man walked toward us, laughing. "Don't fear. It's only a spell. We must return tomorrow night. I will come prepared." We had no choice. We went home. That night, as I lay in bed dreaming of riches, I heard it. "Zahed, Zahed," a whisper. I froze. Again, "Zahed, Zahed." The voice came from the yard. I got up, looked out the window, and saw him. the boy from the graveyard, standing in our yard. He stared straight into my eyes and said, "Zayed, don't go there." And before I could react, he vanished. I told myself it was just my imagination, but I couldn't shake the fear. I pulled the blanket over my head, and even then I kept hearing it. "Zayed, Zayed," until I finally fell asleep. The next night, we returned to the cemetery. The prayer writer told us to wait. Then began his ritual. He poured powders on the ground, looked to the sky, and screamed. His screams turned into groans. And then he collapsed. My uncle rushed to him and suddenly collapsed as well. My father started toward them. I stopped him. "Wait, can't you see? Something's wrong. That man wanted half the treasure, and now look at him." Before my father could answer, a voice came from behind us. "Zayed." We turned. It was the boy. He was standing just a few steps away. My father was terrified. The boy looked at me and said, "Zayed, you are pure. Do not touch what is not yours. Leave this place." My father seemed frozen. I said, "Father, let's grab Uncle and go." He finally moved, lifting my uncle. I bent to lift the prayer writer, but the boy stopped me. "Do not touch him. He stays here. He used you as pawns. If he had the power, he would have killed you all the moment he got the treasure." I said nothing. We carried my uncle to the car and left. We couldn't understand what had happened, but from that night on, my father abandoned treasure hunting forever. My uncle recovered on the way home. Shaken, he swore, "Never again. I repent." It was the first and last time for me as well. We were lucky to escape that graveyard alive. A few days later, when my father felt better, he muttered, "If that man had been a true master, maybe we could have found the treasure." I saw it in high Z's. The temptation was still there, but the treasure map was still in the hands of the prayer writer. And perhaps that was the only reason we survived. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please like the video. Until next time, I leave you in God's hands.